like the Atlantic and I'm going down like the Titanic.
I can't believe
Like the
this is my
Atlantic
life,
and I'm going down
and it is
like
kind
the
of crazy.
Titanic. It's blue like the Atlantic and I'm going down like the Titanic. It's blue like the Atlantic and I'm going down.
Not sure if you can hear the static in the background, but I don't care. See, in My Hero Academia, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you shouldn't, just stick with My Hero Academia, with this." But you have to understand. I mentioned this in my title. I mean, not my title. In my community tab, that I don't finish certain what ifs for a reason. It's because if I feel like it doesn't hit the view quota I set for it mentally, then I'm not going to say that I'll stop it, but I won't do a part 2 until it does hit the view quota. And just to tell you, the view quota for every one of my videos is 1,000. So yeah. Now, let me tell you about this what if. This is a what if that, I'm not sure anybody has thought of. But there's one character in My Hero Academia who, without knowing it, inspires everyone. Kind of. He's a gag character, but he's so much more than that. He's deeper. So today I'm going to do something different. I'm not doing anything different. I'm doing the same thing as always. It doesn't really matter. It won't be a hentai what if, so if you're not into anything besides hentai what ifs, I'm just going to, tell you to, well, I don't really care. Sorry. But yeah, this video is what if Twice was Deku's dad? And with that, Deku would also be getting Twice's quirk. Yep. I'm going to change some stuff. See, Twice isn't, the villain's name. It's his actual quirk name. Well, I'm not sure if it's his quirk name, but, it doesn't really matter. What happens is I'm changing Inko's quirk. Inko wouldn't have a levitation quirk, no. She'd have I forgot what it. Oh, that's right. She'd have a hardening quirk. I'm doing this for a reason. Now, let's get into this. Okay. So, Inko met Twice when they were, when they were younger. Inko became, they tried to attend to UA, but they went to a B-listed school. And, they both wanted to be heroes. But along the way, it was shown that Twice, his quirk, could cause devastation to his mental ability, his thought process, and Inko just couldn't bear it. She knew Twice needed someone to be there for him, but she just couldn't deal with it, So what happened was they ended up getting together. I wouldn't call it a one-night stand, but they got together. Now Hisashi Midoriya, he does marry Inko. But the fact that it was technically a one-night stand, I guess if you'd call it, sent Twice over the edge. That led him to the path that he was leading today. But this story isn't about Twice. It was just, that was just the origin. Later on through the years, Inko tells Hisashi about her past. And Hisashi just like, oh, I understand. It's okay. I've done things. I was reckless in high school too. It's okay. But it turns out, no. Before they got married, that was. It turns out that Inko was pregnant. Twice got Inko pregnant. And Deku's technically a bastard. Yeah, Deku is technically a bastard. But that doesn't matter. What matters is this. Deku, well, Izuku, doesn't know about his quirk. He thinks that he has some sort of pyrokinesis. When in reality, oh, dang, I gotta continue that, huh? Oh well. In reality, Deku has something entirely different. See, he can split anything, right? Except for himself. Deku, on the other hand, due to the fact that his mother has a hardening quirk, and his real father has, a duplication quirk, technically, he has what I'd call divide. He can split himself apart. Not infinitely, but, well, I guess infinitely, because Twice showed that he could do it infinitely. Huh. Anyway. So, yeah. When Izuku was young, he'd always, have... If his mother bought him something, then the next day he would have twice that. He would have more of that. He'd be playing with his quirk, and he'd, harden it so it wouldn't turn to the goop that Twice does, but it would stay in that form. So Izuku would always have multiple of it. And Hisashi adopted Izuku due to the fact that he saw him as innocent. Now, the main reason Twice can't use his quirk on himself, I'm just explaining some stuff right now, is because of his mental fortitude. But Izuku's mom has hardening. I'm going to apply this to Izuku's innards, like his insides. And that would also mean mentally as well. Mental fortitude. But let's get back to the story. Now, everyone's always, bragging about their quirk. Kacchan awakens, and the next day, well, not awakens, Kacchan discovers his quirk, and the next day, Izuku gets taken to the quirk doctor. And the doctor states, oh, well, ma'am, it seems your son has some sort of, I don't know how to put this, some sort of dividing quirk? I would more call it split, but it's more like a divide quirk. That's weird. Doesn't his father have fire breath? And that's when Inko would tell, the doctor about, her past with Twice. And the doctor would be like, oh, that makes sense. So he's his son. Huh. That's interesting. And Inko would look at the doctor like he's an idiot. But, since no one in the world has a quirk like Deku's, he'll just be able to... Oh, no, I know the concept I'll use. It's basically like the Shadow Clone. Yeah. I'm using the same principles as the Shadow Clone, even the secret of the Shadow Clone technique. There we go. But as the years go by, Deku begins to master his quirk. Okay, I'm talking full-blown mastery. See, he would make a duplicate, send it to the library, make another duplicate, send it to school, and another duplicate to do God knows what. But once the end of the day came, the duplicates would all fuse back to that one Deku, that one Izuku Midoriya. And he would gain all of the knowledge, everything he learned, although he became super tired. He also practiced his hardening quirk. It's not like Kirishima's where he can just like harden up, like tighten his muscles and compact his skin. No, it's not like that. His is more like his skin tightens up. That's it. He can punch a little harder than the normal person, but it's not like major. But when this applies to his quirk, then it gets insane. And you'll understand why. So, Deku decides to go to school on, the day where they ask, what do you want to be? And everyone is just wondering, why does Izuku look different? He's kind of dressed like he is in here. And this isn't villain Deku, no. But he's dressed as he is in here. And, Kachan asks, hey, Izuku, why are you dressed like that? And Deku then states, oh, it's you, Kachan. That's crazy. It's my first time technically meeting you, right? And everyone states, well, what do you mean? What do you mean it's your first time? You come to school every day, you weirdo. And everyone's just thinking he's joking. But the teacher notices. That's not the Izuku he knows. And then he realizes what Deku's quirk actually is. What Izuku's quirk actually is. Izuku has a split quirk, a divide quirk, otherwise known as divide. And that's why it says that in his quirk profile. That's why it says, warning, never trust what you see. Under his quirk. And so the day goes by and the teacher asks, well, what do you all want to be when you graduate middle school? And that's when Deku then states, oh, me? Well, I want to go to UA. And I'm not going to say he's shy. No. He has like a mix between Monoma and Dabi. Yeah. He's calm and collected, but like he knows how good he is, but he just doesn't rub it in people's face. And that's what makes him the greatest. Now, okay. Now, now Izuku states that he wants to go to UA, and Bakugo's like, I also want to go to UA, and everyone's like, oh, those two? Of course they'll be able to get into UA. Maybe Bakugo more than Deku, but hey. And that's when Deku laughs and says, oh, that's right, you guys haven't really seen the full extent of my quirk, have you? And he asks for permission to show it off. The teacher says, well, I know your quirk, but the class doesn't. Are you sure you want to do this? Expose your secret? And Deku then states, oh, yeah. Because the rule, the limit to him is every quirk has a limit. Todoroki, he gets either frostburn or, burned. Bakugo, he runs out of sweat or gets dehydrated. All this. The limit to Deku is he can't make a copy of a copy. And this is just like the rule that is his quirk. He can't make a copy of a copy. He's tried and it was like deformed and stuff. But that's not important. What's important is this. Deku then, grabs a little bit of grabs his head and he lightly pulls. Like, I'm talking pulls away from himself. He doesn't grab his hair. No, he grabs his head and pulls away from himself. And just then, people begin to see the deformed shape of something coming out of Deku. And when he's finished, they see another Izuku. Exactly the same, except his hair is just a little bit more refined. And they says, oh my God, are you telling me that every day we have been seeing the copy instead of the real Izuku? And we're just now meeting him? Everyone's shocked. No one knows what they should do because they're confused. And everyone's like, oh my God, he played us all. Izuku's getting into UA. Now, due to the fact that he always sent a clone to the library to study, he has top marks. The smartest. He's smarter than Ida, which is crazy. But let's hurry on with the story. Now, Bakugo doesn't mess with Deku because he's just now meeting the real Deku. He doesn't know Deku's personality. So he's like, dang, my whole life has been a lie. Oh, don't worry, Kachan. Your whole life hasn't been a lie, Deku says. You know, I've met you before, though. When we were little, you started bragging about your quirk. The very next day, I went to the quirk doctor, and I found my quirk. It's cool, isn't it? We technically awakened our quirk at the same time. Just me a little after you. But it's fine, right? Yeah, it's fine. And Bakugo doesn't know what to think. He's just like, yeah, I guess, you stupid nerd. So Deku then, Deku leaves for the day to go. What is that? I don't know. Deku leaves for the day to go home. On his way home, he gets stopped by, the same thing happens. But Deku just laughs to himself and says, oh, you really think you can take me? I may not have a super strength like All Might or fire like Endeavor, but trust me. He starts to giggle and then looks down and starts looking maniacal and says, I'm different. I'm a different breed. And just then he begins to grab himself and he splits himself apart. He does it in like maybe 40 times. And just then they all crack their knuckles and says, jump him. But the main Deku is staying behind. He's waiting for someone to get there because he sent a clone off to go get a hero. All Might arrives shortly to see the sludge villain getting jumped, and the sludge villain begging All Might to please save him from this, this child. And All Might thinks to himself, wait, what? The sludge villain is asking me to save him from a child? Isn't that a sight to behold? And I'm going to leave it off here. Remember what I said at the beginning, please. I don't really want any, negative feedback on these videos because I try. Oh, and check out the aftermarket event from Apex Legends. Yeah, I'm getting sponsored. Not, it doesn't really matter. But, if you want to come play with me, you can. Cool. I played Among Us the other day. So, yeah. Just come, stick around. We'll have some fun. But, without further ado, I advise you all to have a great day. Ciao.
Morning,